Yeah.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you running.
Yeah, I'm back, baby.
Follow Ross's pages. Run, Ross, run. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hey, I'm Derek Ahlswede.
Hey, Rossfield.
This is the AC Sports Podcast.
Good to be back.
First month on YouTube. I'm loving it.
Dude, these shorts are sweet. Check us out.
Loving it. Subscribe to us at AC Sports Podcast.
We had some good forecasting last week.
Dude, well, you did on, what was the thing? You nailed the Patriots thing.
Yeah. The Titans got the number one pick.
You were like, the Patriots are not going to have the number one pick.
Yeah. And then you were talking about Mariota. Put some respect on his name, and then he comes out and has a good game.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even considering that. I hadn't thought about that, but that also goes in line with Jaden needing rest. Yeah. I just saw this thing that Belichick was talking about where he basically said what I said word for word before I said it. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If you're unknowingly mirroring Bill Belichick, I think that's a good thing.
Definitely.
What was the other one, though?
Yeah. There was one more.
Just the Doug Christie timing.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, relationships matter, and look at how much the Kings like playing for him so far.
Nailed that. Should we start? No, we can't start with basketball. It's playoff week.
Playoff football.
Once again.
Dun, 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 dun.
Should I even start the pod like this? I'm sorry. I mean, you got a smile on your face, just like last week. There was tragedy. This week, L.A. Sorry, the timing. We get all happy, and then these things are all sports related. It's like we have the Rams hosting the Vikings next week in L.A.
Wow.
You know, obviously Lakers, Clippers. The least important things when people are losing their homes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there haven't been a big loss of life there. It just reminds me of how interconnected sports are with the world. And when big things happen in the world, it directly affects sports. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's really scary that it's happening in the beginning of January. You know, the timing's wow, like it's winter and this is going down. The winds are whipping and these fires are spreading at rapid paces.
And you can predict, like on Blue Sky, not Twitter. People were talking about heavy winds.
Yeah.
Like, be prepared. It's like everyone just knew it was going to happen. Like, once it gets windy, wildfire's coming.
Yeah.
We are as experienced with this as anybody up here in Chico, Butte County.
Haunting memories of the park fire, of the campfire.
So we're used to the emotion behind it. And, but I mean, kind of the same thing here when it gets really windy up here.
Yeah.
Is that the thought that kind of goes through your head? Like, oh shit, a fire's about to start.
Yeah. It's scary. I'm thinking good thoughts, man. Yeah.
We got okay. Sorry, man. I'm not going to start the next pod off with a tragedy. 2 weeks is enough.
It's okay, man. It's important to talk about, and
I just get amped when I see you.
Yeah, likewise.
But we gotta talk about what's going on.
Yeah, what's real? There's some positive things that have happened.
It's playoff week. Savor. I'll say this every podcast. Savor it. 1 month of the year we get playoffs. It's wonderful. Basketball's kind of kicking in for me too. I'm looking forward to talking about basketball.
Nice.
You only have an hour though. Let's get to it.
Cool.
Aaron Rodgers threw his 500th touchdown. He did it. Kind of a perfect way to end his career. What do you think about this? Is now the time to walk off?
Oh, so great question. It definitely brought a smile to my face. I didn't know it was coming. I should have known it was coming. I didn't know he was knocking on the door 500. So in what's been a tumultuous season, it was nice to see that for the Chico local. There are some reports indicating that he may be, thinking about hanging it up. I'm sure it's crossed his mind. In the back of my mind, I hope he signs as a backup with the San Francisco 49ers. But yeah, I guess it would be a good way to put a bow on a Hall of Fame career, no doubt.
Well, the more serious talk is Raiders. They're not in Northern California anymore.
Tom Brady, come play for me.
Does he come back to the Jets? I mean, the way he hugged Pam Oliver.
Yeah, interesting exchange there.
Everyone, once you're there, like, oh yeah, he's done.
Yeah, it kind of gave you that vibe.
So, if that's an indication, yet every offseason is an Aaron Rodgers offseason where we have to go through darkness retreats and ayahuasca missions and to find out what he wants.
Yeah. But what about this, though? Like, what team did he love growing up? He loved the Niners. That'd be cool.
The tragedy is that they just didn't draft him.
I know.
Back in 03-04.
But
it was slaying right there.
They could right or wrong.
That'd be fascinating.
It would be.
That's not gonna happen.
I don't think he'll be a backup. Yeah, it's not happening.
The fact he went out with 503, I think. I knew this because they were talking about it the week before in Buffalo. He didn't get it. He only needed one. Did it at home against a division rival who was still fighting for a playoff opportunity. So it wasn't a meaningless win. I think it's probably the best way to go out at this point. 4 touchdowns.
He had a good game.
Him and Devontae got to walk off the field together.
He threw a touchdown to Lazard, his boy.
Yeah.
Also.
It was kind of perfect.
It was.
I might cry.
Sweet.
I might cry. I could if I wanted to go.
Need
there.
A tissue?
Another record. A couple records. Well, I guess that 500 wasn't a record. Lamar Jackson has the most QB rushing yards in NFL history.
Yeah.
Didn't know that was on the table.
And he's got a long way to go. He's going to set that as a really high mark.
Yeah. What's a record that, like, that record's going to be shattered by? It's like the 3-point record in basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old quarterback rushing records.
The hit streak in baseball is kind of one that's been elusive for a lot of people.
Oh, I mean, like, it's going to be shattered by many people.
Okay.
Just like old 3-point records where Reggie Miller's like Klay Thompson just passed Reggie Miller.
I don't know, though. Curry's got a little distance, but I believe you're right.
From the old dudes, I mean, I guess, like, the quarterback rushing records are going to be reset by many people. Looking to the future here.
I don't know about that. Maybe. Lamar is such a unique speed force combination kind of athleticism. Like, he's just different.
Do I just have Jaden bias on that?
I love Jaden's athletic ability running the ball, but do you think he's as fast as Lamar? Like,
I mean, he's running for the same. His numbers are the same. Yeah. Rushing wise in his first season. So
if Jaden put on 20 pounds, I would feel better about the durability that would come with taking the hits running the football.
So you're saying that he's going to start running less as his career evolves for injury reasons to be safe, whereas Jackson hasn't really changed his rushing habits.
I think Jackson's just stockier, so I think he can kind of handle.
Are you saying Jaden's going to get hurt?
No, not at all. I'm saying that
if he continues to run how he's ran, I'm saying?
Yeah. I would say, like, well, if he's going to eclipse Lamar's record, he's going to have to run a lot. And I think he would, if he was to do that, he would need to put on just a little bit of weight to handle the hits.
Interesting. Certainly could happen. I mean,
he hurt his ribs, right?
Young basketball players are notoriously kind of thin and gain weight. Like Giannis was a huge example of that. He was a twig and became a giant. So
he did.
I can see, with age, I can see Jaden gaining some lbs.
So you're calling it. Jaden's going to break Lamar Jackson's quarterback rushing yard record.
We're not going to find out for 15 years.
I know.
So.
15? Damn, if he's still playing at 15, that'd be amazing. Could happen. He's a stud.
Lamar's the benchmark for that because he's the first guy. I mean, Vic, of course.
Yeah, Vic.
There were guys that had decently long careers that ran a lot. No one quite like Lamar, though.
Yeah. Well, and he's changed the landscape of the game. There's so many more dual threat quarterbacks coming in now. So you're right. That record probably will be broken because of how football's played.
Right.
You're right.
But he has like a LeBron-like durability, Lamar.
Yeah.
Like, does he have an injury that took him out for like half a season or anything?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
People don't talk about that enough.
Yeah,
He's just
don't.
running around, not getting hurt. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. He kind of has like the mindset too, and like I don't know, just like the mental strength with just how he kind of operates and how he carries himself, that I just feel like there's something to be said for that. Like, it's like not an athletic ability, but he just kind of like, I don't know, there's just something about the way that he walks and is that just lends itself to like durability. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
It's like if you don't tense up from a fall.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like the guys that are more prone to injuries, like Tua's like worried about getting hurt all the time, so he's more prone to get hurt.
Yeah.
And then that's like manifestation and stuff too. But there's like a real physical element of that.
Maybe Lamar's just like, no, that's such a good point though. Like maybe he's just not thinking about it too much.
There's a lot of wisdom in that.
Yeah.
There's wisdom in that and going through life.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Word.
Don't fucking think about it. Just barrel forward.
Just Lamar it, dude. Do we have a new segment now? The Lamar Jackson barreling through it.
I love it. Yes, we do. We're gonna have like 10 segments like that by the end. We got a few coming. Those are my favorite parts. Another record-ish.
Yeah.
Mike Evans ties Jerry Rice for 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Rice has 14 total. Rice missed a year in there somewhere. Was it the Raiders transition where he didn't have 1,000 years because it wasn't 14 in a row? But Mike Evans is a GOAT.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
A really kind of unbespoke GOAT.
The way it happened was so cool too. Like the last play of the game, like
the Saints were like,
like the last play
you,
for
dog.
That's true. But I don't know. He still kind of had to work for it a little bit. And then the teammate reaction was just like otherworldly. Yeah. It was so cool to see everyone stoked for him.
The Saints, look, well, a Bucks fan friend of mine got pissed at me for saying that the Saints gave it to him. Like, no, that's incredible. They're all like brothers in this game. That was like the biggest sign of like solidarity and love. Like, you're going to make $3 million. Of course, we're going to want you to make $3 million. Not just the Bucks. Everybody wants that for him. $3 million bonus is crazy.
That is crazy.
But like, that was one of like the low key, like most like heartwarming moments of the year for me was the Saints. Like, we're end of the day, dude, we're all in this together. Like, get your money. Everyone's rooting for everybody to get paid.
That's funny because I didn't know it was coming at all. I was like watching, I think Red Zone, and they had it on that game at the time. And like, I just thought they were going to run it out or kneel it down. And then like Evans does a short little crosser or little like out route and they get him the ball. And then it was like, the record's happening now.
Yeah.
It was cool.
If the Saints wanted to stop it, they would have put 10 guys on it. Everyone knew what was happening.
But yeah, maybe. Yeah. Interesting.
What I like about Mike Evans is that Lattimore is going to be covering him on Sunday night.
Yeah.
He's going to be back. We rested him, got a good 2 weeks in. He's the reason why we beat the Eagles. I'm a Commanders fan if you're watching for the first time. So I'm very excited this year. Lattimore's used to playing Evans from the Saints. Same NFC South, so he knows him well.
Knows his tendencies. So that'll help.
I think that's going to be what gets us over the hump Sunday night. We can talk playoff predictions a little later if you want.
It's funny how that unfolded because, I mean, we were kind of going through the scenarios of the playoff games and the seeds last week. And, like, one of the things that did not really cross our mind was, you know, the Commanders are going to play the Bucks. You know what I mean? It was like Eagles, Rams, and then all of a sudden now they're playing Baker and the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was a possibility. And then when I found out about the Rams were like, we're cool with the 4 seed. Basically, they weren't starting some key guys, and we knew that Seattle was playing for bonuses as well, incentives as well.
Gino cleaned up.
So Seattle was like a 6-point favorite or something going into that game. Yeah, that's what we didn't look. That's what when you don't look at the lines, sometimes you can miss those things.
We didn't do the picks,
so it's kind of inevitable. What can still happen though is Washington going into LA. I'm rooting for the Packers like crazy this week, right? Because if the Packers beat the Eagles, now we don't have to play them if we win. We go into we don't play the Lions either because the Packers are going to be the lowest seed. Yeah. So we're either going into Minnesota or LA.
The reseeding, right?
Best case scenario, LA pulls something out of their ass, beats Minnesota, Packers win. Now we play Tampa, then go into the Rams.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful. And let's say the Packers beat the Lions, then we host Green Bay because it'd be a 6-7 seed.
Yeah.
That's my wish.
I like it. My thought process is it's going to be the Lions, Vikings, or Commanders out of the NFC to go to the Super Bowl.
Not the Eagles.
No. And out of the AFC, I like the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs. Shocker. I know. But the sneaky one in there, I feel like, is the Commanders. I think they're going to pose some trouble. So we'll see.
I would love to play Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
That would be cool.
I would be out of my mind if we got to play them.
I would be a big time Washington fan if that was the case, because Mahomes has ruined a couple Februarys for me.
Yeah. We could have a DMV rematch, Baltimore, Washington. That'd be fun too. Let's talk about coach firings.
The coaching carousel is in full swing.
Antonio Pierce had the longest. There's Jacksonville's. What the hell's his name?
Doug Peterson.
Yeah, he's been around forever. I'm not really. He might be kind of out of the picture going into the future.
Mm-hmm, maybe.
I think he's had his turns. Won a Super Bowl.
But with the Eagles, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but for years I've heard kind of weird vibes about him on the inside, and that he's actually not that great of a coach, and that Eagles season was kind of a miracle. And
it was a miracle. They beat Tom.
Yeah. So him aside, Antonio Pierce was interim last year, first full season this year. So he has the longest tenure of these five guys I'm going to mention. Mayo, just one full season. Brown on the Bears interim. Ulbrich on the Jets interim. And Rizzi on the Saints was an interim as well. Those are five very, very short tenures.
Yeah.
Any feelings about this? We talked about coaches being fired midseason, how I personally don't like it. How do you feel about Pierce and Mayo? Do you think does it kind of stink to you? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does in a way. I guess what this signifies is that I know Mayo was the hand-picked successor by Belichick, which is
Kraft.
Kraft. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a little bit not what I'm gonna talk about now, but I don't like the interim coach doesn't work. I guess like Pierce. Last year's interim, they give him the keys. This year doesn't work. And all these other interim coaches this year had maybe not enough of a sample size to really show what they can do. But these organizations have obviously felt the need to move in a different direction and bring somebody new in.
Let's put it to rest. Why not keep Robert Saleh the whole season? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, for real.
None of these guys. I mean, the Bears had a hot start. They're almost 5-2. No, you're fired 2 weeks later. The Saints, incredible start. Now we're going to fire them 3 weeks after, because Derek Carr got hurt. It's insanity, and I hope this does stop that. I think it will. I think it'll be a big topic in off-season kind of boardrooms and the players union. What's it called?
Yeah,
players union. Yeah, coaches union, owners union, all that. And then Pierce and Mayo are just two guys that
the Players
what do you
Association,
expect?
I think it is.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Players Association, but yeah.
What do you expect in one season with these teams that they have?
Yeah.
With these quarterbacks they have.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. It's also to build off that. It's this is a hard job.
Yeah.
Like the NFL head coach, that's a tough job.
Half the teams have losing records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
there's coordinators going left and right too. Like the Niners got rid of their special teams coordinator. Sorensen, their D coordinator's not coming back. They keep cycling in new coordinators every year.
Well, let's talk. Did you hear? Oh wait, that was the Warriors. Never mind. I feel like the Warriors and Niners are having some rough infighting happening. Have you heard anything about this?
I've heard a little bit about the infighting of the Niners players' wives, and maybe a little bit of stuff going on with Bosa and other players.
I've never brought this up, and I wanted to a month ago. There was talks of it's a segregated, people were using the word segregated locker room.
And it was terrible.
It was around the kind of election and when things are prone to be more polarized or whatever. And Bosa did that thing on Sunday Night Football where he showed the MAGA hat. And, but yeah, I wonder. I mean, I would like to know more. I don't know how I can find out. I guess I could see I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that. And unless we know something, it's not really worth talking about that. Okay, there's our coaches stuff. Any
Top
coach?
picks.
Any coach you're looking forward to? Any coach that aside from Vrabel that you want to see in a head coaching job?
Oh,
Rex Ryan.
Interesting. Rex Ryan
for the Jets
would be funny. It'd be good theater. It'd be good stuff for us to talk about.
Ryan and Rodgers, one more year. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Any coaches that you like? We got Ben
Oh,
Johnson
gosh.
out of Detroit. Everybody's talking about him, the OC out of Detroit.
Yeah, I think he deserves an opportunity for sure.
I'm feeling Bears for him.
I think,
I
like
Bears.
that.
Caleb.
Oh, you take Caleb to the next level? I like that. That's a good prediction there.
Yeah.
Let's hope that comes true. Someone needs to pry Spagnuolo away from Andy Reid. That absolutely needs to happen.
I don't think it's ever going to.
I don't think it ever will either, but that's my wish.
On to those are some teams that were struggling this season. Here's some more teams struggling. But now they get to reap the rewards. We have the draft order set. You nailed your Patriots prediction. They won a meaningless game and are now the 4th pick overall. Titans, Browns, Giants. How you feel about this? How you feeling about the Titans, Browns, and Giants next year? Let's go there.
Go there.
Are any of those 3 teams going to be better next year, in your opinion?
Ooh.
I have one.
Looking at it, I don't know. I would say not much better. They may see improvement. I do think all 3 are going to be thinking about Cam Ward and possibly Shador, even though Shador's kind of looking more and more like somebody that shouldn't be taken very high in the draft.
I think teams are going to talk themselves into it.
Yeah,
by the time it
they
comes
usually
around.
do, right?
Yeah. Which isn't a good time.
Well, and it just boils down to what you really need in these 3. Well, maybe not. I mean, maybe Watson will be back healthy for Cleveland next year, and they'll give him another chance.
That's the thing no one's mentioning. Is Watson he's still on the team.
Yeah. And the Titans do have Levis, so I mean, he was just drafted this past year.
Levis
2 years ago.
He was near the bottom of the kind of
he
quarterback group statistically all season.
What do you think here?
The Titans are going to win the AFC South next year.
Wow.
With Cam Ward.
Yeah, see, if that's the one thing I think is whoever gets Ward will see a little bit of improvement.
It's going to be the Titans.
Okay.
I think he's a no-brainer over first overall pick.
Yeah.
The AFC South is garbage always.
Yeah.
What's their coach? They kept their coach, I believe. Yeah. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Look out for the Titans next year.
Dude.
That's
a great call.
January 2025 prediction.
The Titans won the Cam Ward sweepstakes because the Patriots decided to win a game, and Robert Kraft got so upset that he fired Gerard Mayo because he wanted to trade down for picks so bad, like he got to do for so many years. Yep. And he said, that's the last straw.
Patriots fans are livid. They're just they're ripping their hair out. What are we doing?
Oh, by the way, I mean, any love for Milton? Like, they sat Drake May. Like, the Patriots have 2 quarterbacks of the future. Milton's got a cannon.
Well, how about this? I have this on the list this week. The backup QB most likely to succeed next year.
Okay.
We should have done a little homework on this. We have a decent grasp of some backups. We saw Drew Lock just have one of the greatest games of all time. Yeah. Giants just run it back with him. Why not?
They might.
Is there a backup right now that you see breaking out the Sam Darnold award?
Well, outside of Mariota, I think.
Do you think he's going to go to a different? Oh, what if he goes back to Tennessee?
I could see
teaches Ward.
I just think there's an organization out there that has seen what he did in the games that he played this year. He played 2 games, right?
1.5.
1.5, and played really, really well. And I think you kind of look at that and go, okay. I mean, he gives me a little bit of Darnold vibes, like an experienced guy who was taken high in the draft, was very, accomplished in college, did a lot, just knows the game, just mentally. Like, I think if he's given another shot, a team might be, grateful that they gave him that.
He's a bruiser, dude. He runs.
Yeah.
And he doesn't slide.
Yeah.
He goes head up. Which, like, if you're a QB or a backup, I kind of like that because, like, you're not out there as much. Like, take a little more risk. Go after it. That long run he had against Dallas was like a 4th and 1, I think, and he broke for like 40 yards, and what led to the win.
Yeah.
The Commanders got yet another boneheaded safety pre-snap play. Did you see this?
No.
So we know the Bears safety back in the Hail Mary was like taunting the crowd.
Oh yeah,
ran over their tips up. That's why they catch it. The Cowboys safety was celebrating because he thought the ball was handed off up the middle on a 4th and 1. So he's just standing in the field like, yeah, while Mariota just runs right by him. He's like, oh, shit. The Commanders have had, it's like they've been struck with incredible odd luck this year.
That's awesome. I got another one, maybe. This is a reach. This is a reach. But do you think Cooper Rush did enough filling in for Dak Prescott to warrant more time in the league? Let's just say. I would say yes, but maybe a starting spot somewhere might be a reach.
I want to say Cooper Rush's winning percentage was as good as Dak's this year. It was pretty close.
I mean, he had some good games.
Yeah.
They hung in it for a while.
He improved. Well, yes. I mean, I think we can circle back to this question. Maybe we'll look into it a little more. But I think it's a really important question. I think it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Yeah. It's cool to pay attention to this. You're onto something. Like, you know, the Flacco situation, the Jameis situation. Like, there's the Darnold situation.
Darnold's
the one, right? But there's guys every year that kind of are in the league as a backup that show a little bit, you know, that's
they're
kind
only
of cool.
getting smarter every season.
Yeah.
And we know how much intelligence plays into being a good player at this level. So it makes all the sense in the world.
And there's such a, like we're talking about who's going to take what at the top of the draft, you know, obviously there's quarterbacks that you're thinking about, but then there's a situation where like Shadur is kind of like, I don't know, he's maybe not a high pick. And then what if you're one of these organizations and you do give more backup shots? Like, I feel like it's kind of been shown with how well Darnold's, played, that there are some guys out there that could really help your team if they're given a shot.
And the obvious thing is to do both. You get as good of a current backup as you can. You sign them for like $10 million to start for you, right? So good contracts too. And then you draft Shadur that allows him to stay 2-3 years. I mean, we've been talking a lot about how, these quarterbacks that are drafted should back up for a couple years. But at the same time, like, if you're the Browns, like, do you want to wait 3 years to develop Shadur?
Yeah.
It's okay if you already have a guy.
Yeah.
And that's the logic of the Packers drafting Love and Rodgers while they already had star quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to do both, but the value of the backup is bigger than ever. And seeing what Drew Lock did was just like, the Giants were the only team that like openly tanked with what they did this year, I think, with their personnel decisions at quarterback.
Yeah.
Playing DeVito over Lock is criminal.
Well, the Niners played Brandon Allen over Dobbs too in one game, and a lot of the fan base was like, "Wait, what? Like, Dobbs can at least run." Like, that was kind of a
they got a better pick.
Yeah, they did. Well, and I guess maybe we can put a bow by saying this: Rodgers, come be the best backup and mentor Purdy. Come on. Come on. The mentor thing about being an experienced backup has to be cool. Embrace it. Embrace it.
That hasn't been done yet. We haven't seen a Hall of Fame quarterback go back up. It's you're going out. You're going out in a ball of flames.
Let's just take this whole thing to the next level then. To the next level.
Okay, here's a new category. And we'll do some more like year-end stuff. I want to do it the week before the Super Bowl, that off week. We'll do like a kind of a full-on award show that I'll prepare for.
Okay. Cracker of the Year awards.
But we'll dip our toe in of the years right now. Roller coaster season of the year. I wrote down a few. I think there's kind of the consensus pick. What say you? Who had the biggest roller coaster of a season?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm liking the ones you put down here. Yeah. Out of them, gosh, I feel like Kyler is a good one because they started out so well. Purdy definitely had a lot of ups and downs. My gosh.
Contract season,
like played good here, then just, threw some awful Jimmy Garoppolo type interceptions there, then came back, had a good game against the Lions, and then in the fourth quarter threw a terrible interception. He was definitely roller coasting.
You got to pick one. Kirk Cousins, you got Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Derek Carr. Some are injuries.
Rodgers
is on there for more like just because every year is a roller coaster with him, no matter what.
Yeah, Bryce is a good one. I mean, and I feel like he ended the roller coaster year in a good way. He closed strong this season. It was
He
great to
started-
see him laughing and smiling and having fun.
He started down low,
Yeah.
went lower,
Yeah.
then shot up out of nowhere, and not to the to the peaks or anything, but ended the season well. The internet loves him. The kids love him. Who's your guy? You got to pick one.
Okay. Purdy.
Purdy, I like it. I'm gonna go with Bryce on that. Jameis, I like Jameis's very short up and down roller coaster.
Yeah. We could throw Flacco in here too. I mean, he not playing, then playing, then not playing, then ended the year playing.
I'll go with Bryce, although it was mainly just up. Oh no, it went down first anyways. Okay.
There's one guy on this list too that's got a chance to continue the roller coaster ride of the season, and that's Stafford, right?
Yeah. Things where people forget the opinion of the Rams in the first 5 weeks.
Oh, they were awful.
Like when the Niners lost to them, it was like, oh, how did that happen?
Yeah,
They're
that changed
horrible.
their season.
We're great.
Yeah.
Looks so different now in hindsight.
Yeah, you're welcome. Unbelievable.
On that note, just real quickly, I make week 6 playoff picks every season. Did you see my order for the AFC?
Oh, you got pretty much all of them right except for one.
The 3 and 6 I had.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and Ravens flip.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he nailed the whole order of the AFC.
He did. Well, obviously that deserves a lot of credit. Although I will say that this year the AFC playoff picture was pretty apparent after 6 weeks.
Once we saw that the Steelers were going to be good, there was no really question.
There was it was clear who was good and who wasn't. The NFC was a little bit more muddled.
Well, I bring it up because on one note, it might be well, it actually is it's not that hard to predict after week 6. If you get all of them, cool, but it kind of wasn't that hard to predict.
Yeah, but you deserve credit for it. You deserve credit for that, dude. That was good.
In the NFC, I bring it up because thinking of those perceptions and after the first 5-6 weeks, I had the Bears and the Niners over the Eagles and Rams. So I had Bears over Eagles. They were both 4-2 at the time.
Yeah.
So things can change. I don't know what my takeaway is after this. Should I start betting on these? I feel like you bet on the wild cards, you parlay them with the obvious teams to get a little more juice on it.
Yeah. I just want to meet the guy who at the beginning of the year was like, "Oh, the Vikings are going to be 14-2." Because that's the guy I want to hang out and bet with.
The Vikings were my 1 seed, which was close.
Dang, dude. That's impressive.
And Niners really the only team let me down. I had the Commanders at 3. I had the Bucks at 2. Ended up being a 3, so actually not that far off.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's fun. Tune in next year.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl, baby.
Okay.
We have 3 rookies. Jaden and Bowers, 2 of the best rookies
ever
to come along. Ever. Oh, I like
dude, Bowers for sure.
The conversations about best rookie seasons ever, that's not hyperbole. I think that applies to these 2 guys.
You could make the case, certainly.
If we really, I'll look on that. I've heard a couple people mention that, but it's not an exaggeration.
Yeah. And Jared Verst of the Rams is a beast.
So he's a linebacker
and edge rusher.
Edge rusher.
Got to the quarterback a lot.
So you're gonna be seeing him a lot in the future.
Oh God, yeah, probably. Someone block him.
The Rams, they're good at choosing star defensive linemen.
Yeah, for real. Aaron Donald. Anyone? Bo Nix got snubbed.
Okay, so any other snubs? You just saying that to?
Yeah, I just wanted to get a reaction.
Do you have any other?
He did have a great week though. My gosh, obviously maybe the Chiefs weren't giving it their full go, but he closed the year strong. He had a good year, from a quarterback perspective.
If Jaden's not here, then Bo Nix is a superstar.
Yeah, people. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. He's gonna forever be in Jaden's shadow. Poor guy.
That said, Bo Nix gets plenty of love. Don't feel sorry for him.
He's good. He deserves it.
Any snubs? No Mahomes, which is nice.
No Mahomes was kind of interesting.
So there's 6 quarterbacks total, 3 in each conference.
Right.
They're all kind of in that MVP conversation. The NFC, Jaden, Goff, and Darnold.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Deservedly so. All 3 of them.
And this is why it's Jaden not being even mentioned in most MVP conversations is stupid. Look at it's looking at you right in the face.
Yeah.
AFC, of course, Lamar, Allen,
Burrow.
and Burrow.
Which is good. I mean, Mahomes did not play as good as those three guys. Definitely statistically, obviously, knowing how to win games factors in. But it is still interesting that he was left off.
Yeah, I mean those three quarterbacks. Mahomes just going to be the fourth best quarterback in the AFC in perpetuity.
Yeah, he could.
I mean, I don't.
Even though he's going to be the most successful
right.
in terms of wins, losses, and deserves a lot of credit.
And who cares? And that's my thing with like the Lamar conversation. I don't think Lamar is the MVP this year, but who cares? He's trying to make a Super Bowl. He's won two. Like, I don't think he gives a shit about MVP.
Yeah,
that guy is more focused than ever on getting to the Super Bowl. I think. Which is same with Mahomes. They don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They'll happily let guys like Goff or Allen get the MVP.
It'll be really interesting to see how Mahomes plays next season. Like, will be more of this kind of like game managing style, or will he play like he has the last couple weeks where he's kind of reverted back to like, oh, I'm going to dominate today?
Well, and the thing is like, well, they're going to add some weapons on offense next year, so that could change everything. Jaden's a great example of like, he doesn't have fucking weapons at receiver. Our receivers can show flashes of skill, but they also suck balls a lot of the times.
Yeah, the Kirk Cousins test was definitely revealing of that last week on our talk.
And I compared Jaden to Brady on that level. Brady never cared what receivers he had at all.
Yeah.
So that's not really a reason for Mahomes. We thought Kelsey just fell off. No, he's still a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
The guy had like almost 100 catches.
Yeah. Yeah, but to me that was a little shocking. Like, I mean, I had Kelsey on a fantasy team, and he was like, I wasn't playing him at the end of the year. Yeah, it was like.
So I think I think Pat is there's those three quarterbacks from the AFC they're all at around the same age to where I don't see any of those guys dipping beneath Mahomes moving in the future.
We'll see. I could see Mahomes coming back with a vengeance one of these years, statistically, and it may be next year. We'll see.
It's laying the hate on thick over here. Other notable Pro Bowlers, Jamar Chase in his Triple Crown.
Triple Crown. Can I take back what I said
I was going to say, you chose JJ.
I did. When the conversation between JJ and Jamar, I said I think I would rather have JJ just because he's a little longer.
And then he shit the bed against the Lions.
Yeah, he did have a tough game. Mm-hmm. Darnold had a tough game too, which doesn't bode well for them moving forward in the playoffs.
Lions
by the
awesome.
way,
Niners played the Lions great 2 weeks ago.
I know they did. It's interesting. But yeah, just thinking about it more and seeing, Jamar, and seeing a little bit of Hard Knocks last night too. I feel like Jamar is probably the best in the league. And oh, by the way, a triple freaking crown.
Triple clown. Ouch. Tough Freudian slip there. Micah Parsons, notable year. I think he's in a contract season. He's, I'm not giving him the put some respect on my name award this week, but he gets a little sprinkle of it.
Okay,
he's a beast.
He's a warrior.
He's got the personality to back it up. But he's not like an unstable personality or unstable personality on the team, I don't think.
Yeah, he seems to cause a little bit of drama, but I think it's just like, I want to win drama.
Does TJ Watt cause drama? Probably. I mean, that's just like, I don't think he's like, I don't think he's bad for the locker room. I'll put it that way.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think so.
I think that, what was it, a few weeks ago, he was walking off into the locker room when the game was still going in the fourth quarter just because he was dejected and frustrated. It wasn't a good look, but it's understandable.
Yeah, these things have happened from the beginning of time.
Agree. You know what team he would look good, what colors he'd look good in? Yeah. How about Washington go get him? That'd be pretty sick. They need a guy like that.
I'm going to be so thirsty this offseason for free agents. It's going to be like, give me Reek and T. Higgins. Give me both of them.
Yeah.
What if we do? I don't know. I think we might go nuts with receivers this offseason.
Yeah, I think you should. Mm-hmm. And I think some receivers are going to want to go play there. Debo.
Oh, I mean, Tyreek, dude.
Tyreek? I've heard rumors about that. Come on.
They I honestly, I regret even mentioning like, oh, he's a problem in the locker room. A lot of that stuff, I'll just say like can be tinged in like racism and stuff too. It's like, no, I'm not going to go there with any of these guys. I don't know unless you know for sure. I'm not going to say that anymore. I say that because the some Commanders fans on threads are like, we don't want Tyreek to we got a good culture going. Like, quit it. Tyreek and Jaden would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
That would go off. I will take him in a second. Please come over, Tyreek.
That makes sense to me.
He requested a trade. This is we're gonna constantly be talking about the player empowerment every week in a different way. You know, a lot of guys just asking to leave. If we have time, we'll get to Jimmy Butler a little later too.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Tyreek in his post game? I'm out of here.
It was weird.
Game.
It was weird. But frustrating season for him. So I understand. They seem to have thrown some water on the fire. McDaniel the next day said it wasn't that big of a deal. So we'll see what happens.
So you kind of excuse it just to season. You're disappointed by the season. You get emotional. Yeah. You say, shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. That's it. We'll see if they get rid of him. Some similarities between Tyreek and Jimmy Butler. Both kind of like elite skills. Both like, you know, they do their own thing kind of end of the day. Like, they're not like out for themselves, but yeah, it all ties back, and it ties back to the Tony Brown conversation. Like, this line of like, where do you look out for yourself?
Yep.
Because every owner's looking out for themselves.
Yep. And
that's the thing I always come back to. It's like, oh, the richest guy that owns everything is allowed to do whatever he wants, but I can't, is the one that's actually selling tickets. So that's kind of the angles coming out from last week, and I do need to be a little more nuanced about it, though, because it's complicated, because you have to be a team player.
But you make a good point right there. I think that synopsis was spot on.
You know who the 7th best quarterback in the NFL was this year? Most valuable?
7th most valuable quarterback.
We listed the 6 Pro Bowlers.
Tua.
Seriously?
It's not a bad choice. I'd like to know their win-loss record when he was playing.
True. Baker Mayfield.
Oh, I thought he'd be higher.
This guy needs to be in.
The Bake Show's amazing.
He's a top
cooking
7,
up some goods.
8, 9 guy.
I just want to be on the field with him because I feel like he would fire me up so much the way he plays, the passion. He's just, dude, he's a man. That guy plays with so much fight. It's infectious, dude.
That's why I'm afraid on Sunday. It's just because of him.
Did they play this year?
Week 1.
Okay.
I mean, they whooped us up, but it's a perfect kind of. And Quinn literally said this, and I was thinking the same exact thing. It's like, and you know, you get to see how far they've come since week 1. It was week 1. It was Jaden Gaines' first game ever.
Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting. We didn't really mention last week, but it was kind of written in the tea leaves that we were going to get another chance at Tampa since.
I wasn't expecting it.
Other Pro Bowlers, real quick. Quentin Nelson, O lineman for the Colts, legend.
Oh yeah, dude, one of the goats.
Jerry Jeudy.
Good year for him.
Great season.
Yeah, he really did have a great year.
With the ragtag group of quarterbacks. That's
no doubt.
Jameis will help you get your numbers up.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the picks don't affect the receiver stats. We mentioned Kelsey. And your boy.
Yeah.
Like 11th Pro Bowl or something crazy.
Yeah. It's like probably will go down as one of, if not the greatest fullbacks to have ever played.
Well, will you please pronounce his name?
Kyle Juszczyk.
Juszczyk? It's the most egregiously spelled last name in history. It's just consonants. There's no vowels.
Got to be some nationality thing there.
Well, Polish for sure.
Polish. Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
But there's your bright spot for the season, Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah. Kittle had a great year too.
Did he?
Yeah. Some young DBs. Lenore had a great season. I think they might have struck gold with Renardo Green.
Okay.
Malik Mustafa is a missile. That guy is going to be hunting people from the safety position next year. But yeah, other than that, oof.
Okay. I mean, you just listed a few. Those are all defensive guys.
Yeah. I feel like we'll be back.
The NFC West is wide open.
It's wide open. I just knocked on wood.
You got that going for you.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do this second or a week before the Super Bowl. Do you have an official MVP order?
An official MVP order.
Who's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Oh gosh, I could probably do it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We can wait.
Lamar.
Lamar's your 1.
Allen's
your 2.
Oh gosh, let's go
Saquon, you're 3. Okay.
Let's go Daniels. Let's go Burrow.
Okay.
Did I leave anybody out?
No Mahomes, no no Darnold, no Goff.
Ooh, yeah, Darnold, Goff are right there. They're knocking on the door. But that's not a bad list. Come on.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I threw Daniels in there, so you're welcome.
Thank you. I'm going to wait to give mine.
Okay, damn. It's like that, dude. Put me on the spot and then just run away and hide. It's like that Homer meme. He backs into the bush.
I'm going to do a big segment on mine.
Okay, word. I'm looking forward to
really
it.
Up. Going to call the graphics department. All right, we're here. The Derek Carr Put Some Respect on My Name award of the week. You want me to go first?
Yes. I got to fire up some info.
I was watching Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I'm behind for some reason.
Okay.
Did a little shout out to player or coaches' wives. I think it was the Bengals coach. And it got misty in the all. I was like, it just struck a chord with me for some reason. I don't know why. It's like, it's not as if they're like soldiers' wives or something, but there's this element of like they're gone for 4, 5, 6 months. I mean, it's a consuming job in the off season too. But you know, you see all the every time you get to see, you know, couples on the sideline after a game, or you know, waiting with their kids outside of it. Like, it's just, it nails a soft spot in me for some reason. I'm a single dude, you know, I don't have kids, but it's like maybe that's what it is. It's like that's what I want.
Yeah,
in my life. But,
I get that. I'm there with you.
My Put Some Respect on Their Name award of the week goes to coach and player wives in the NFL.
Good one.
Yeah,
they got to put up with a lot, I'm sure, and it's got to be just a tough lifestyle. Unless you're, you know, and I'm sure it takes a village too. Like, they probably have a lot of help, you know, and rightfully so. But still, it's got to be hard, man. I feel that. Yeah.
I think the coaches' wives even probably more so.
Yeah, agree.
And you know, they're a little older generally, so it's like their kids may be out of the house, they're empty nesters, or whatever. It's like they kind of need to build like these communities, or and they're just, the coach wives are like the real, like those are the real MVPs for sure.
Yeah, I like it. Good one, dude. Good choice. I got
There's our reel. There's our best reel for the week.
Yeah, dude. Give us some love. All right. Who is the running back in the NFL to have only eclipsed or not only, but who's the only guy? Okay, let me start this over.
Okay.
Who's the only running back? Let me start this over.
You want to run it back?
Who's the only running back to have 4 consecutive 1,000 rushing yard seasons in the NFL right now?
It happened this year?
Yeah. They've eclipsed 1,000 rushing yards 4 consecutive years.
There's only one guy?
Yeah. This same guy also holds the longest consecutive starting streak from the running back position.
It's got to be Derrick Henry.
No. That's exactly what my thought went
Derrick Henry had a 900-yard season?
He did. He had a 967-yard season like 4 years ago with the Titans, I believe. Right around there.
Wow.
Yeah. This is the same guy, by the way. He's eclipsed.
Josh Jacobs?
No.
Let me get at least another guess or two.
Yeah, sure. Guess away.
Aaron Jones?
No. It's crazy.
Just, I would love to guess for half an hour. But who is it?
Okay. So this guy, I want to put some respect on Najee Harris.
Dude, I swear to God, that was the next guy I was going to say. I was like, he hasn't been 4 years though.
Yeah, Najee Harris is the only running back to have eclipsed 1,000 rushing yards in the last 4 seasons. So consistency. He's also durable, as he's the only running back to have started 68 consecutive games in a row, something like that.
Wow.
And so I was like, dude, this is crazy. I got to learn more about this guy. And here's why I really want to put some respect on his name. Okay, he grew up in the Bay Area, one of 5 children of a single mother, troubled neighborhoods, spent time in a homeless shelter when he was in middle school. Family moved to Antioch, obviously was a monster in high school, was the top recruit coming out of high school, went to Alabama, had a great career there. Then got drafted in the NFL, has been with the Steelers ever since. Graduated from the University of Alabama with a degree in consumer services, so he's also a scholar. During his last college football season, he began celebrating touchdowns by striking the iconic World Cup pose of, let's localize this, Redding's Megan Rapinoe. He mentioned finding Rapinoe's views on feminism and standing for her beliefs as motivating and inspirational. What? In January 2019, he signed with Beast Mode Marketing, obviously the marketing agency of Marshawn Lynch.
NorCal.
On the day of the draft, he declined the invite to the event, opting instead to host a party for the kids served at Greater Richmond Interfaith Program, the homeless shelter he spent his childhood at. Dude, are you kidding me? In 2021, he founded the nonprofit organization, the Bigger Picture Foundation, along with help from Governor Newsom, which provides assistance to families impacted by homelessness and hunger.
Amazing.
Isn't that incredible? Like,
I
dude.
mean, incredible job by you on the Put Some Respect on His Name award this week.
Thank you.
I just love that it's all kind of all California too.
Yeah,
I'm
Bay
so
Area.
proud of. Yeah, my good friend Aaron Plunkett, who runs Sports Recruits on Instagram, knew Najee back when he was playing. He gets to know a lot of these guys early, so I've known about his story for a while. I hadn't. I mean, when you mentioned his 4,000 yard seasons, though, I wasn't aware of that. The funny thing is there's a tinge of kind of disappointment in his pro career that's associated with him, because I think he kind of just gets about 1,000 every year.
Yeah,
which is like
right around there.
By the way, that's only like a 60 yard per game average.
Yeah.
With 17 game
true.
season, maybe more. So, and like his touchdowns, I'm not putting any damper on you at all. I'm just saying like that's wrong. Like this kind of perception of like he's never kind of lived up to it. He started every game in 4 years too. Wow.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like, and obviously in today's NFL, you split time more and more in the backfield. There's a lot of guys getting touches. There are very few Derrick Henrys or Saquon Barkleys out there. But to your point, when you think of like who the best running backs in the league are, Najee's name doesn't come up very often. But he has 4 consecutive 1,000 rushing yard seasons, the only running back to do that, and he has the longest starting streak. So he's consistent and durable.
I love that.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
We might need to change the name of the award to Najee Harris Award.
For next week.
Yeah, love it.
Cool.
Media Darling. Thank you for that. That was awesome. Media Darling of the week.
Ooh,
we got some bugs in the studio, maybe? My media darling this week. I mean, I'm still kind of thinking about Najee now. I'm a little sidetracked by how awesome that was. I don't even care about media darling this week. Do you have one? We can skip it because I got a lot of Joe Mazzulla awards to
yeah. Okay. Cool. I honorable mention Myles Garrett. Put some respect on my name. He could be my media darling. That guy has a ton of sacks. I think he is the only guy to have 14 plus sacks in a certain amount of consecutive seasons. It was mentioned on Hard Knocks last night. I mean, something that Reggie White hasn't done, Lawrence Taylor hasn't done. Some of the best edge rushers in the entire history of the NFL have not done what he has done.
So was that on the most recent Hard Knocks episode?
Last night.
Okay, so that qualifies. That's media. That's big media. I saw the thing where the Ravens offensive lineman. Did you see that clip?
Stanley.
I don't know his last name,
yeah,
but he was like, he's like, I know I'm just a nobody, but can we do a jersey swap after?
Yeah, that was cool.
Dude, a lot of this is just making me emotional for some reason this week. And then, Miles pulled him aside and said, dude, you're on a team that's winning in the NFL like you're never nobody.
That was sweet.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and the Pro Bowls. Like, it's cool to see players get called into the office, and have the Zay Flowers had an exchange with the wide receiver, and the wide receiver coach was like about to just bawl. You could tell. And then, they get the acknowledgement in front of the team. Like, they're throwing up on the screen, all the Ravens Pro Bowlers, and Jim Schwartz is giving love to Garrett, and the Browns. Let's give him 3, and the whole team's it's sick, dude.
What's great about that is that it shows that the game doesn't matter. Like, we don't, like, I'm glad they moved on past playing the actual Pro Bowl. What matters is getting the honor.
Yeah.
Like, that's the important part.
Yeah, recognized.
I love that they changed the Pro Bowl. I want to talk about that, though.
Okay, cool.
We're moving into Joe Mazzulla Make Basketball More Like Cricket Award of the week, where we talk about some potential rule changes.
Yes.
I have 3 that are tiered. I hope Ross has enough time today. Let me know when you got to go.
Okay, bro.
My small rule. We'll get to the Pro Bowl. Should holding be 10 yards? To me, the penalty is that you just got that 18-yard run on a hold called back. Like, you lost that, because usually holds happen on big gains.
Yeah.
They opened up a hole, whatever. It feels a little weird if it's like it goes from a 2nd and 10, 22-yard gain back to now a 2nd and 20. It just feels a little excessive.
Well,
Maybe
it happens from the
5?
spot, right? No.
Does it?
Yeah. I think if it's after the line of scrimmage, it happens from the spot that the hold occurred. So if like a wide receiver's holding a DB and the running back's coming around the edge and they've already gained 5 yards,
It is
then
from the
it's
spot.
2nd and 15.
Okay, scrap that. I'm taking that out.
No, that's
I
a
should've
good
known
one,
that.
though. You get me thinking about should a pass interference be a spot foul?
Do you think it's more? Do you like the college rule?
I think it should just be 15 yards every time.
Then it's just, but obviously, then you just strategically use it, and
You think maybe that? Yeah, they could strategically use it more. I could
it
see
could
that.
be from the spot of the pass interference. So like, we're not going to give you the whole thing, but we're going to give you like 10 to 15 yards from where it happened. So it's still a decent chunk.
Yeah. I just don't like that so many people, so many quarterbacks, wide receivers take advantage of just throwing it up and initiating contact with the DB, and now all of a sudden the ball's at like the 1 yard line. And
Yeah.
it was like,
It's rough.
give him 15 yards.
It's rough. I'll let holding go for now. Medium level Joe Mazzulla award. How do you feel about the overtime scoring rule? Sorry, this is end up just me realizing I don't even know the details of the rules. Is it now that if the first team scores a touchdown, the other team still gets another chance?
Is that playoffs? I think it's only.
Okay.
I think in the playoffs, or at least that's what happened in the Super Bowl, right?
They didn't get
like Kyle Shanahan didn't understand that in the postseason,
you can still
like the rule is that if
Yeah.
you score a touchdown, the other team gets an opportunity. And he says if he had known that, he wouldn't have deferred.
Yeah. Tough.
Or
still
no, he
muddled.
wouldn't have chose to receive the ball. Never mind.
Right.
Sorry. I got that backwards.
You know what? We can scrap the small and mediums. I wasn't prepared enough for those. I don't even know the details of those things. Here's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. We're watching Week 18 games. To be fair, when I was watching the end of the Commanders game with the Packers-Bears game in the same screen, like I wanted that 6 seed so bad. Both things ended up going my way, but it was down to like simultaneous.
Dude,
ended up
crazy.
being an awesome experience. That said, we talk about, rookies getting tired and Jaden, but just players getting tired. Obviously, injuries, concussions, all that. The Week 18 feels unnecessary to me. And I get that like Week 17 in a 16-game season can have the same implications. Guys sit. It's kind of just the same. It can be the same thing, I guess. I get that. But we were kind of good after Week 17. The Broncos were like, the teams were set pretty much. I guess we had the Lions, Vikings, which is important. Here's what I would like to see. Because there's also like, I've just been thinking so much about Jaden Daniels getting tired, right? We have teams that play up until they're playing a Week 18. Now they're going and playing a Saturday playoff game, most important game of the season. They have 6 days rest, 5 days rest. Let's go back to 16 games. Week 18, bye for everybody.
Okay.
It's just off week, bye.
Reset, recharge.
Everyone gets to rest. And what we do now, 1 seed, I'm sorry. You're not the only team that gets a bye anymore, right? We don't want 1 seed to have a 2-week bye. That's too long. We add another team in there. We get 8 teams in the playoffs. So now first week, 8 plays 1, 7-2, etc. So there's no more. You don't earn a bye for being a 1 seed anymore. Which, by the way, used to be 1 and 2 seed. So that's kind of arbitrary anyway. So now we just push it to the 1. We put an extra team in there. So in the NFC, that's the Seahawks, 10-win team, deserve to be there. Bengals in the AFC, we want them there.
Yeah.
So now we have Bengals going into KC next week
Which
after
would've been-
everybody rests. Who says no to this?
Oh, it takes away kind of that push to get the 1 seed, though. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, no, the advantage is to just play the weakest team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But okay, but now you're saying like, yeah, now I guess that, well, unless it's a battle for the 1 or 5 like we had this week, then obviously it matters in terms of who you play. A 5 would be going still on the road to the 4 seed. So you're not totally sold on this.
I'm not totally sold on it, but
Okay.
it is a very interesting proposition that I think I could get behind. I think
want-
that'd be cool.
And honestly, the impetus is I want every team to be rested going into the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Like, what are we doing? Like, it's a long ass season. Like, it would just make, I think, the product better.
Yeah.
You often do see kind of dud games
Yeah.
in the first couple rounds.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's so funny you mentioned this because you want to know what I was thinking about this past week was the Chiefs, in that like they played a Christmas game. Then they had 10 days off till the next game. Then they basically sat everybody.
Right.
Now they get a bye.
Yeah.
They're going to literally have
rested.
had 3.5 weeks off. And if you're a team like they were this year, that it just so happened to be that they were putting all three phases together at the end of the year and they were starting to click, and now they take 3.5 weeks off.
It could work against you.
It could. There could be an upset when they play their first playoff game that, someone goes in there and knocks them off, and it would be like, wow. And they could come out looking super rusty.
And I feel like this was more of a topic in like the 2000s, because there was a stretch of where like the 1 seeds were losing.
Yeah.
Or 1 and 2 seeds were losing like kind of often that first game after the bye.
Yeah.
And this was definitely more of a national conversation. Like, does the bye actually hurt you?
Yeah.
So this just solves that. Everybody gets to rest.
Yeah. It's a level playing field. Yeah.
I forgot my other caveat that I've mentioned. The division title does not guarantee you a home game, so we have a true seeding here. Okay. So the Texans would have been a 7 seed in the AFC instead of a 4, and the Rams would be behind the. They'd be right there with the Packers, right? So that's my proposition. I would love to see it. I think it'd make for a better product.
That's a good one. Good call, dude.
Your boy Myles Garrett, part owner of the Cavs. Didn't know that.
News to me.
Cool.
Interesting. They're good.
That wraps up my my NFL stuff. I know you said you have to. It's 2:05. You got to bounce her.
Yeah.
Okay. Any NFL? Is there any of these NBA things you want to mention?
Look out for the Kings. Scared for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler. Ooh, I don't know. Russell, man, playing nice in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that coming. Kawhi back and being Kawhi, man. He came out and started draining, and it was like, oh, look out. And it'll be about a month till he gets hurt again. SGA's level 1 million confidence. What's that?
I've never seen anybody as confident in my life.
Yeah.
The guy's insane.
He's flowing. He's flowing right now.
What I want to say, maybe I'll do a separate thing on Drake and LeBron.
Okay.
Maybe that's made for a different podcast. It's fascinating. My media darling of the week is Derrick Rose.
Oh, okay, good.
He's inducted into the Bulls Hall, or retires number.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
He had this pop-up flower shop, which I put on this, where there was a line around the corner buying bouquets of flowers. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then the whole week after that was just like Derrick Rose week. Like he was all over the place this week.
Were they buying roses?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty good business for him.
Yeah.
But no, he received a lot of love this week. I think Joakim Noah had a nice speech for him.
Oh, that's cool.
But great week for him. He
was so good, man.
All right, HC Sports Podcast.
One other thing on here real quick. Cam Scattaboo.
Oh, your boy out of Rio Linda High School.
Yeah. Do you know where he went to school before ASU?
Where?
Sac State. He was a monster for the Hornets for a couple years.
Man,
and they were really good. And then he transferred to ASU and is now
insane high school career.
Yeah.
Won a CIF title. CIF is what we are up here in Chico involved with.
I hope the Niners draft him.
Yeah, that'd be great. Is he going in the draft?
I think he is. I think he's got no more years of eligibility left.
Did you're working for the News, did that coincide with his, I think he graduated high school 2020. What was the last year that you were with Action News?
Yeah. 2018.
Okay. So you were working there when he was in high school, but I don't
think anybody up here played Rio Linda. Maybe they did though. Maybe he was doing his thing.
We love NorCal here on the pod.
We do.
Tune in for NorCal talk every week. Plus, talk around the whole league. We didn't get to basketball. Normally we go an hour and a half. Ross, let's get out of here. Maybe I'll do a separate basketball segment on my own.
Cool. I'll tune in.
Thanks for coming in, Ross.
Thanks for having me.
AC Sports. We out.
Peace.